But no, let's talk about Lamar Jackson.
Let's talk about this.
Yes.
He reportedly turned down a $220 million contract, but obviously he looked like a guy who can be paid like a top 5 quarterback yesterday. Your thoughts on Lamar Jackson being paid as such?
Lamar Jackson is good at football. I mean, this man.
Breaking news!
Lamar Jackson, very good at football. I mean, 2019 MVP. This man absolutely deserves every penny he is asking for. And when you've got Deshaun Watson setting the bar with a fully guaranteed contract, I can see why he's like, okay, like Cleveland really messed up setting the quarterback market in that way. And Lamar saying, you know what, if that man is getting a fully guaranteed $230 million deal, why can't I? Why can't I? And the way that he's built, the team is built around Lamar Jackson and what he can do and what he does best. And if the Ravens say, okay, we're going to play chess and we're gonna franchise tag you next year, fine. But also something that is important to consider as well is the franchise tag is going to play a role in their salary cap. They can't continue to do that and afford to keep the team successful around him. Eventually, these two teams or these two sides are going to have to come to an agreement. And I respect Lamar holding his ground and saying, you know what, this is what I'm worth, and this is what I will continue to show you that I'm worth. And hopefully, you guys will kind of rise to the occasion.
This thing is puzzling to me. But one, I thought I had a little bit more respect for the Ravens as an organization. I thought this would have gotten done. Mm-hmm. I understand the frustration and the idea that Cleveland is an outlier compared to Kyler's deal, Russell's deal, whatever.
Right.
However, you got to get this done. There's no excuses in my mind. And if I'm Lamar, I don't know that I would have gone into this season as graciously, right? Like, he's decided he doesn't want to talk about it anymore now that we're playing football. At some point, I'm not coming. Like, figure this out or I'm not coming.
You want to talk precedents. We just saw it happen with Dak Prescott a couple years ago when he went to get on the field and prove his worth. He got hurt.
With Dak Prescott yesterday.
The nature of the game has injuries. So,
but again, this is a man who believes in himself and trusts in himself, and I have so much respect for that. Like, the amount of confidence that he's like, you know what, I'm going to trust this. I'm going to trust in my body. I'm going to trust in my skill set. I'm going to put another season on tape that's just going to show you, cut the check.
Yeah.
Cut the check.
Yeah, go to the Aaron Judge school of putting your money where your mouth is. And speaking of Aarons and speaking of football, let's go around the league.
Look
at that segue. The Green Bay Packers took a tough loss against the Minnesota Vikings, and that offense looked absolutely pathetic without Devontae Adams and a couple of their wide receivers just looked absolutely lost out there. Is the reign of the Packers on the NFC North over?
I think it's too early to say just that because, again, it is just week one. Aaron Rodgers is still multiple-time winning league MVP Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they lost Devontae Adams. They also were without David Bakhtiari, without Jenkins, without two of their most impactful offensive linemen, and that protection was not up to standard in the backup. So there were a lot of elements, there were a lot of things about this game, about the way that the Packers were playing that was just not Packers-like. Also, the Vikings are good. The Vikings are very good. Justin Jefferson was a top 5 fantasy pick for a reason. This man had almost 200 yards receiving in week one. So this was a kind of a combination of things, but the Packers look like they need to get it together.
Yeah,
I think
so.
They need to do the opposite of relax.
I'm smirking at the Kirk Cousins of it all.
Oh, gosh. Do they take a group ayahuasca trip and figure it out? Or?
I mean, I feel like maybe.
Maybe that's the thing to do.
Dude, the hair, like Aaron Rodgers' whole thing right now, he looks like he could kill someone.
His post-game press conference, he looked aged. Like it looked like that game aged him like 10 years.
I wonder if there's like a window on ayahuasca. Like he talked about the last 2 seasons it being beneficial.
I've done some research, but we can find that off line because I don't think we saw that on a
great.
show.
That's exactly what we need to do.
Circle back. Tom Brady, how does the story end with him? He started off a 19-3 victory against the Cowboys on primetime TV. How does Brady season end this year?
I mean, that's so loaded of a question. Where do we even begin right here? This man, 45 years old, the oldest man to start at quarterback in the National Football League, and he's, coming away with a win. He is committed. He retired. He unretired. He took 11 days off to throw a Hail Mary in his marriage and said, sorry, Giselle, that's enough. I got to go back to the boys. But he's out here playing football, still looking like Tom Brady. I'm just like...
She said, I'm married to the game.
I'm married to the game,
Come on.
you know? But I did kind of like what he said. He said, you know what, this is one of the only places I feel like just one of the guys. And for a guy like Tom Brady, who can't even walk down the street without having somebody or something like that's kind of a nice feeling. I can understand how hard it is for him to walk away.
One of the guys, one of the eldest guys, like, whatever, dude.